Hey everybody, and welcome to DGS Productions. I'm your host, D.G.S. This upcoming weekend we have a surprisingly under the radar yet stacked field in the Estonian Open taking place in Tallinn, Estonia. This course is a temporary course set up around what seems like an amphitheater of sorts. The only images I have are from the caddy book that is online, as well as then some things from Google Maps. But we do have a lot of good information from the caddy book. First thing we see is that this is going to be some roped OB, especially starting off on hole 1 and continuing then into hole 3 and then on down into hole 4, where you're going to have to more than likely shoot over OB in order to come back in, and then same with 5, throwing over a little bit of a lake there early, hoping to miss that initial tree line. The majority of the course plays out like this. It looks like there are some tight fairways with some long bombs mixed in and some nice long open shots. But it looks like it's going to force these players to take a certain line and not necessarily allow for maybe the road less traveled line. Big highlights already coming out of practice rounds. We've got Paul Macbeth saying he aced hole 18, which is a 500-foot plus hole. It does play downhill quite a bit, and it does play as an island, but to have that ace with his Star Destroyer, as he posted on Facebook, is gotta be feeling good coming into this tournament. I think there are going to be two main groupings within this course that are really going to divide the players. The first one being hole 4 through 8. Hole 4, shooting over OB, coming into the fairway with some roped OB on the pathways and then ropes long on the lake there. And then going into hole 5, which you're going to have to deal with a little bit of that lake there at the beginning, and I'm assuming some tree foliage and some gaps to get through initially. As well as then hole 6, running into what looks like a very tight corridor and very tight fairway, and then a hole 7, a little bit longer, not necessarily any OB to speak of except for maybe what looks like that red box before, but that landing zone probably isn't going to be in play for the top pros. And then hole 8, which looks like a longer and skinnier shot than we saw on hole 6. That's where I think we're going to see the tournament made. If those are really as skinny as they are depicted here in this caddy book, I see the field getting separated fairly quickly. The other holes I see having a lot of action on and a lot of up and down are going to be holes 17 and 18. If this comes down to a playoff or this comes down to a final round and we're neck and neck, these could really separate one person from the next. In hole 17, we've got a very tight corridor. It looks like you've maybe got a gap of maybe 8 feet here within from tree to tree, so that's going to be quite the tight line to get down. Not necessarily very long, but if you miss your line, you're in some danger and you're going to have to scramble pretty quickly to get out there and get your 3. And then coming into hole 18, I assume there's going to be a huge gallery coming into this, especially on the last day. I don't know if there's any wind down there, but it plays as an island hole. So a hole that is 500 plus feet downhill with an island attached to it. That could cause some drama. There could be some throwouts there. The wind could play a big factor and effect in this. So I'm really interested to see this play out. Unfortunately, DGS Productions is still on vacation. Good for those guys, and CCDG will not be making the trip, so we're kind of left watching our phones. I did find out via the Estonian website that there is going to try and be a live stream on the final day. I assume it will just be one card and it'll be the lead card, so be on the lookout for that. I will try and post a link on Facebook the day of and the day that that gets posted. Hopefully that reaches over here in the States. I'd really like to see this drama play out. See some American players up there, maybe Simon Lazat up there, maybe some Yale Store, and kind of mix more of that European scene into that top card. I really would appreciate that. But like I said earlier, this field is stacked. We've got Simon Lazat, we've got Paul McBeth, we've got world champ, two-time world champ Ricky Wysocki, we've got Eagle McMahon, we've got Big Germ Jeremy Colin, we got his traveling partner Austin Turner there, we've got Yale Store, we've got Pasi Koivu, and we've got Dave Feldberg there. So quite a few names there. I'm sure this will be quite the event to watch. I really hope to see the European YouTubers kind of jump on, get some footage of this. That would be great. But let's get to some picks. MPO side, let's start with number 5. For number 5 spot, I was going to go with either Eagle McMahon or Austin Turner. I think Austin Turner has been riding this huge wave of excitement, just got bumped to Discraft's elite team, has been playing very well, having some really nice top 10 finishes, and Eagle McMahon also playing very well, has kind of come in here and there, but it's going to kind of come down to either or in that 5 spot, I'm thinking, and I'm going to go with Austin Turner. Austin Turner has proven very good over the past couple months, even just this year in general. So I foresee him jumping up to at least the top 10. Number 5 spot might be a little ambitious, especially with all the OB out there and him being such a young player, but I think he has the poise to do that. I think he has the arm to do that, and he has the control to do that as a lefty. That I think this will kind of present him with a little bit more different obstacles than a righty would, but I think it'll come out more in his favor. In that 4th spot, I'm going to have to go with European Yale Store. I really like this guy's play. Only seen him on video a couple times from what I see on the European YouTubers, but I really like his play, and I think that he can definitely pop up there. Number 3 spot, I'm going to go with Simon. I think this gives him a couple weeks after Worlds to kind of adjust with his knee problems. I know he had a little bit of knee or ankle problems going into Worlds, going into round 2 and 3 and such. So I think he's had time to recover from that. I think he's going to have his head in the game. But I think with this being a little bit more of an OB tight, I don't think this really is a tournament that we see Simon jump to the top 2. I think he has the potential to be up there and to remain up there and to really push the top 2. But I think that he's going to land in that 3rd spot. Coming in at number 2 and number 1. On one hand, you've got two-time world champ Ricky Wysocki coming off a win in Sweden, and so he's kind of getting the gears turning after Worlds and continuing to improve his play and get his head back in the game. And then we've got Paul McBeth, who showed a great showing on the last round of Worlds to pop up to that 2nd spot. So I think it's going to be a battle between them for the top 2. I'm going to go with Paul coming out on top. I think Paul, if he grabs the fire that he had in that last round and he grabs that willing to attack but still smart play, I think he can really excel. And I see his putting game being on solid. I see him adjusting very well to the temperature, to Europe and everything like that. Ricky has been over to Europe for quite a while now. I think he's been over there for at least 2 weeks by now. He was in Iceland with Nicola Castro and Philo Brathwaite and Greg Barsby for a while, and then he was in Sweden checking up with the Latitude 64 guys, and won a tournament then in Sweden by 1 stroke, coming down to that last hole. But I think he's going to take 2nd here. I think Paul's drive and Paul's gumption to get back into that top spot is really going to drive Paul above Rick, and either way it's going to be a great battle down to the wire. With the limited coverage, I'm still going to be glued to my phone. I really expect this to be a great battle on a temporary course that demands a lot from the player. There's a lot of structured OB, which could cause a lot of drama for the more aggressive player and definitely benefit the safer player. But we could see things go one way or another on one day to the next. Like I said, on my Facebook page I'm going to be posting that link, which hopefully will be US friendly, so be on the lookout for that. On the FPO side, we didn't see a lot of American players make the journey over. We actually only have a couple, one of those being Hannah Croak. And really, I think Evelina is going to run away with this. I'm not really familiar a lot with the female FPO players over in Europe, but I do think that Evelina takes in that top spot. She's just somebody kind of like Paige Pierce that just has the arm, and she has proven, even in her young age, that she can still play with the top FPO players. And that's our show. As always, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and check us out on Facebook for all your disc golf needs throughout the week. And until next round, I'm D.G.S.